North Korea is considered one of the most isolated countries in the world, not cut off physically, but rather politically. The country is considered a totalitarian dictatorship, with the Kim family ruling with an iron fist since it took power in 1948. The current ruler of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, or DPRK, is Kim Jong Un, who took over in 2011 when his father Kim Jong Il died from a heart attack. One of the most important structures for the Kim dynasty is Kumsusan Palace, which houses the remains of Kim Jong Un's father and grandfather, Kim Jong Il and Kim Il Sung, respectively. It's this sacred palace that we'll look at for today's video. With North Korean culture educated to worship the Kim family, the Kumsusan Palace is considered the most sacred place in the DPRK. Its full name is Kumsusan Palace of the Sun. While it is functionally a mausoleum in that the remains of two of North Korea's leaders are housed there, the website of a tour company emphasizes that it is disrespectful to call it a mausoleum. We're not exactly sure why it's considered disrespectful to call it a mausoleum, but if you ever go there yourself, consider yourself warned. According to the website of KTG Tours, the building was built in 1976 and was initially called the Kumsusan Assembly Hall. This was because it was the residence and office of President Kim Il Sung. However, after President Kim Il Sung passed away in 1994, it was renovated and it became the Kumsusan Memorial Palace. It was later named Kumsusan Palace of the Sun after Chairman Kim Jong Il passed away. When Chairman Kim Jong Il passed away in 2011, the palace was closed and then renamed to its current name and reopened in 2012. As described by alluringworld.com, the grey-coloured granite structure is a true architectural communist-style building that follows a brutalist classical art architectural path. On the exterior, visitors will find a portrait of the great leader Kim Il Sung, which is put at the front part of the palace. On the other side, there are photos of both deceased leaders Kim Il Sung and Kim Jong Il. In front of the entrance, a large 500-metre or 1,600 feet long square on which there are crowds gathering from time to time in order to pay respect to both eternal leaders. There are also bronze statues outside the palace with a fountain feature, more monuments to the Kim family and communist ideals. This grandiose building is said to have halls that are up to 1 kilometre long. As we walk through the long marble corridors, visitors will find armed, tall DPRK soldiers in high leather boots standing perfectly straight guarding the palace. Visitors occasionally encounter groups of soldiers marching quickly and in flawless unison inside the palace. Continuing to walk through the palace, visitors will find two lifelike coloured statues of the leaders. One photo shows these statues with North Korean and Soviet flags behind them. But of course, the most important part of visiting the palace is to see the leaders lying in state. The bodies of each leader are in separate chambers. Before approaching each chamber, guests must line up one by one and go through an air-blowing device that blows high-pressure air to the right, left and top of our bodies to ensure that dust and dirt is removed. Upon entering the chamber, guests will notice just how dark and dimly lit things are, with a neon red light around the hall at the top. The atmosphere is sombre and funeral-like, and it's very common to see locals crying here. So what is the visitor experience like? Well, the Kumsusan Palace of the Sun is only open to foreigners on Thursday and Sunday mornings and on special occasions such as the birthday of the leaders. The evening before going, Korean guides will tell visitors that this is the most sacred place in the DPRK and will remind them that they are to wear formal attire when going. Ladies wear traditional Korean dresses and men wear suit and tie or Mao suits. Korean guides will then let visitors know when it's time to line up. Each line consists of 4 people, who are then checked by staff from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They will check each group one at a time and make sure that the numbers in the group match the list and that everybody is appropriately dressed. Taking pictures or filming inside the Kumsusan Palace of the Sun is prohibited. Moving to the cloakroom, guests leave coats, cameras, chewing gum, wallets, hotel room keys, etc. Medication and jewelry is allowed but should be cleared with tour guides beforehand. With belongings handed in, visitors line up again in groups of 4. People will then take an escalator to a section where they will be scanned, one by one. Men go to one line, women to the other. Once cleared, visitors will be taken through various symbolic areas of the palace, including the Hall of Lamentation, as well as a room with medals, awards and gifts given to the leaders. These include awards given by other world leaders as well as pictures with them. Visitors are then taken to a hall showing giant maps explaining where President Kim Il-sung travelled to by plane and by train. These maps have red and blue lit lines. The red lines show routes taken by train and the blue ones show the ones taken by plane. Information displayed shows total distance travelled. The train used by President Kim Il-sung is in this chamber. You can also see a chamber with the same information and maps for Chairman Kim Jong-il. Also on display is Kim Jong-il's office, desk and computer in the train. Other vehicles visitors will see include 2 Mercedes-Benz and a golf cart used for on-the-spot guidance, and last but definitely not least, Chairman Kim Jong-il's yacht on a plastered mock-up sea. So that's what we know about the Grand Palace that houses 2 of North Korea's former leaders. So what about its current leader? Kim Jong Un, very much alive, lives at Ryeong-song Residence, which is also called Residence Number 55. This compound was constructed by the Korean People's Army Construction Brigade and completed in 1983 under the rule of Kim Il-sung. The complex has an underground wartime headquarters, protected with walls with iron rods and concrete covered with lead in case of a nuclear war. There are numerous military units to protect the complex, and the area is surrounded by an electric fence, minefields, and many security checkpoints. A private underground train station is also inside the residence compound. Besides large houses and well-tended gardens, there are man-made lakes and various recreational facilities. Witnesses have reported luxurious interiors with ornate furnishings, deep plush carpets, and fancy chandeliers. On this property there are said to be banquet halls at the lakefront, a 15-metre by 50-metre swimming pool with a giant water slide, a running track and athletic field, a spa and sauna, horse stables and riding area, a shooting range, and a horse racing track. Images published in Russian state media also show a brightly lit expansive property, which is quite austerely decorated, but features artwork, expensive-looking carpets, and marble pillars. So that's what we know of the 2 grand palaces that are part of North Korea's ruling family. Would you ever visit these if you had the chance? Let us know by leaving a comment.